stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, cheap-ass coffee made in a percolator.
Nice.
Actually, it's pretty good. Pretty darn good. Well, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Got a good night's sleep. I know I did. And life is good. What's happening on my side of YouTube? Goal talk. We always talk about goals. Positive relationship talk. Positive for men. That doesn't always mean that we are praising and putting a woman on a pedestal. Sometimes we have to talk a little bit harsh about things because you experienced some betrayal. And I am not going to ignore your betrayal. I'm not going to ignore that. You might feel that a lot of positive talk people, motivational people, just ignore the pain and betrayal that you have felt. I'm not one of them. I recognize it, and I want to acknowledge what you've been through. I don't want to ignore it. This is not pie in the sky. This is not this hopeless, positive thinking kind of stuff. What else are you going to find here? How to be trimmer and thinner, more muscular. You're going to get tips, motivation, and examples about making more money and working smart. And that's what we do. So I say, welcome to the bright side of YouTube. And thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Two of the most beautiful women in the world, Marilyn Monroe and Elizabeth Taylor, shaved their entire faces. Yes, you heard me right. They shaved their faces to keep their skin young looking. The razor acts as a dermaplane and exfoliator. Women's facial hair is called vellus hair. The hair that I have in my face is called terminal hair. Thick. Like a broom. Women's hair. Like velvet. Soft. Doesn't become thick. If a woman uses a razor on her face, and I'm talking her whole face, this is not going to make her grow a beard. So, think about this for a minute. You can spend all the time you want. If you're a lady sitting in front of a mirror in your bathroom, scrubbing and washing, your face like twice a day, and you have your routine and all this kind of stuff, the nightly routine, that women have. If you used a razor on your face, you will look 5 to 10 years younger. Sounds weird. And I know you probably never heard of that before, but 5 to 10 years younger. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Led Zeppelin, 1971. Some words that changed a generation and got a lot of young men to pick up a guitar and start playing. Here's modernity in a nutshell. Men pay other women to raise their children so their wives can go work for another man to get a paycheck to pay the other women to raise their children. Oh boy. If you don't do things differently, you keep getting the same crap over and over and over. It's very difficult now for a family to make it on one person's income, on the man's income. This is why you must have multiple streams of income. You must. There's no doubt in my mind. This is no longer the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. It's sad that both people have to work just to pay the bills. What is the answer? Well, even men have to man up, not for women, but for themselves, even before they marry, if that's what they want to do, if that's a choice that they want to make. I don't recommend it for most. I really don't. And I struggle with that. There is some serious cognitive dissonance there, in the sense that marriage can really fuck a man over, but yet it can be a real blessing, because without marriage, or two people, a man and woman coming together, families cannot be created. Offspring cannot be created. So I think it's important. But I do struggle with the results of modern marriage and what happens with men in marriage. It really is quite disheartening. It truly is. The betrayal and the pain is just unbelievable. Women aren't different because of a different zip code or country code. My gosh, I've been telling you that for how long? Women are women. Yeah, but you have to find a woman in this country or that country. Really? All right. Keep telling yourself that lie. You know, the biggest lies that we hear are the ones that we tell ourselves. Here's a good question. How long have all her past relationships been, and how did they end? Patterns don't lie, my brother. Are you just another 3-year stepping stone for her until she goes through her next hormonal phase? If your woman is on or has been on or goes on and off of hormonal birth control, you are in trouble, my friend. Been there, experienced it. You see things that they don't even recognize. Hormonal birth control is absolutely evil. I 100% believe it. I've watched the nicest women become Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The women who I really thought so highly of on hormonal birth control just be wishy-washy. Love you 1 second, not love you the next. Plan for the future 1 minute, suck another man's dick the next minute. My dear, my love, my husband, I love you and I'm waiting for you. Okay. Another lie. Believe everything that she does and zero of what she says. Add hormonal birth control to that, and you are fucked. As been said a million times, whenever a woman says, I love you, in your head, add the words, for now. I love you, for now. It's always for now. 12 hours later, it can all change. If you know, you know. It's better to hear, I appreciate you and I respect you than I love you. I don't even think people even know what love means anymore. Love is a verb. It's an action. It's not tingly emotional stuff to make us feel good. It's actually an action. That's why I like to say, believe everything she does and zero of what she says. Why would you want an ex back? She made leaving you look easy. Take her back again, and the second time she's going to make leaving you look even easier. Why do men do that? If you ever took someone back, if you ever circled back or they circled back, you can enjoy it, but expect nothing from it. Expect nothing. At that point, she becomes just a posable action figure, just a play toy. At that point, second time around when she comes back, she is a blow-up doll at that point and nothing more. I don't think, and here's my disclaimer, I don't think Christian women are any different. Find a woman that doesn't believe in divorce. Literally, 70% of all divorces across the board, regardless of Christian or not, 70% of all divorces are initiated by women. Some women will say, well, if men just manned up and they did what they were supposed to do in the home, add a college education to that, and that goes up to as high as 90%. My brother, bruh, 90%. When she says, I was always loyal to you, that's what she says. The translation of what she means is, I'm banging someone else now. How much of the trouble that you've had with women may be due to hormones that they've taken or inserted in their body? Remember the first time you might have gone down on a woman? I'm just going to keep it raw, man. I don't care. You know what? Keeping it real on a Friday morning. If somebody, well, what do they say? Somebody has to tell the truth. It might as well be me. The first time you went down on a woman and you felt inside of her and you felt an IUD of some type, you're like, what the hell is this? Right? She has an intrauterine device in her that is leaching hormones into her body. So you go down on her and you literally are eating synthetic hormones. Think about that. Add all these things up. Just do the math, guys. Do the math. The hormonal birth control, the herpes, the endocrine issues. All of these things mean a worldly woman. Period. She might look pretty on the outside, but inside, she's no different than the rest of the world. Do you ever see those videos of like a painting of a beautiful woman, and you're looking at it, and then all of a sudden it just like morphs like into this banshee thing, like really fast, and comes out of the painting? There's your modern woman for you right there. Pretty at first, attractive at first, and then something triggers the banshee in all women. How many guys have I talked to over the years? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, who have said she just changed overnight. Something changed in her. She's got the fake hair, fake lips, and fake nails, fake boobs, fake eyelashes, fake eyebrows, the fake white teeth, has braces, gets Botox, chemical peels, but she wants a real man. Modern women are a scourge of society. They literally are not worth it. They belong to the streets. That pretty girl who is not like the rest is no different than the rest. Why kid yourself, my brother? Stop it. You're pedestalizing. I am absolutely convinced that women don't want to be married. They're married to their jobs. They're married to their careers. They're married to their pets. They're married to their parents. The scripture says a woman will leave her mother and father and cleave to her husband, and the two shall become one. The modern woman is one with her pets, one with her parents if they're still alive, one with her career. She loves calling another man boss. She does what she wants. She doesn't want anything that you want. She doesn't want a future. If she could just create children and have them without having you, she would. So what are you vetting for? What filter do you use when you are looking for a woman? I say vet a woman for her ability and propensity to want to build something. And it takes time. That's why I say date long, marry slow, and if you're going to get divorced, divorce fast. It's so interesting. There's so many vids on YouTube, so many videos of how to get her back, how to get your ex back. Are you fucking crazy? It's not like she went to a convent when she left you. If you take her back, you are eating another man's seed and hormonal birth control. Thought I would keep it real because no one else is. Many women dump their men this time of year. The end of spring, beginning of summer, for a couple different reasons. Summer always does it. Add hormonal instability to it. Girl vacations, solo vacations, hoping to hook up. If it leads to her typical 3-year relationship, you are her 3-year relationship. You are her 3-year stepping stone. Modern women are never happy. She's open to that 3-year stepping stone. She doesn't marry out of fear that she might have a shitty marriage just like her parents do. She'll show them. Modern women are trash. She belongs to the streets. It doesn't matter what she looks like on the outside. I don't care how many rosaries she has. I don't care how many crosses are on her wall. I don't care how much she goes to mass. There's a difference between red pill lens and understanding of the manosphere. The manosphere is shit. It's garbage. It's little boys playing. It's just spurgs trying to be men. Red pill lens is pretty important. It helps you understand the world. It's a filter to see the world through. And it does, you know what the red pill does? The red pill kind of reinforces and proves the state of original sin in everybody. I hate to say it. I've experienced it. You've experienced it. But one of the things that red pill ideology doesn't take into account is demonic possession and oppression. A woman stringing together man after man after man without marrying and procreating is under the subtle control of satanic worldly influence, even if she goes to church. She short circuits pregnancy with birth control, which is absolutely satanic. She allows the live, living, dynamic seed of man to die inside of her. She allows other men to suckle on her breasts and not babies that she's created. Her vagine has more things going into it than babies coming out of it. She allows her body, she's in charge of her body. She's in charge of her life. She misused everything in her life. Did you ever try to use a butter knife to take a screw out? You ruin the butter knife and you ruin the screw. You know what you take a screw out with? A screwdriver. That is what it's built for. A woman's breasts are meant to, number one, feed a baby. Number two, give pleasure to her husband. A woman's vagine is meant to accept seed, grow a baby, nurture a baby inside of her, and then push that baby out. And then the pleasure from sexual relations with her husband. If all she's doing is getting a rod of flesh going in and out of her constantly, and that rod of flesh just banging on her uterus, that is the misuse of her body, and she is not glorifying God in any form or fashion, because everything that God created in her is being used for something different, and both are getting ruined. What are her breasts made for? What is her private parts made for? Think about your private parts. The highest and best use of your private parts is to procreate and make children, period. Yet you use it only for pleasure and getting off. This is why we are screwed as a society. And the only way that you unscrew society and unfuck yourself, the only way that that happens is to follow God's plan. You want to have different results? You got to do things differently. If you just keep banging a new girlfriend every 3 years, or a string of girlfriends, how do I know that? How do I know that? If you keep doing that, you keep getting the same results. And that's the definition of insanity. I do believe that modern men and women, especially women, are clinically insane. Proverbs 14:1 says, "The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands." Women are demolition experts. The first thing you need to look for is not ass and breast, a great body, a pretty face. You look for her ability and propensity to build. A wise woman builds her house. That is why in Proverbs it says, "An excellent woman, a virtuous woman, who can find?" Who is she? Where is she? She's rare. And then it says, "For her price is far above rubies." In other words, if you find an excellent woman, a woman who has virtue, do what you can to secure her, because they are rare. And then Proverbs 31 goes on to tell you what that wise, excellent, virtuous woman is all about. But the number one thing is this: a wise woman builds, and a foolish woman tears down. You want a woman who's a builder, not a demolition expert. And some of that demolition is men. Some of that demolition has been you. You have felt that. And to continue a few things in navigating the minefield, meeting women from Red Flagistan, we talked about women who've had abortions, women who have the thousand-cock stare, the psycho eyes, women who hurry up to get under the door with pregnancy or marriage as they're aging, anger issues, physical violence, withholding sex or physical affection, a history of being the one who does all the breakups, friends with an ex, too sexually experienced. Like if I've always said this. It's kind of funny and sad at the same time. I got good news and I got bad news. The good news is she gives a great blowjob. The bad news is she gives a great blowjob. That comes with a lot of practice. Where did she practice? Who did she practice on? You're just another one. One of the 3-year stepping stones. That's all. You're not special, my brother. You're not. You feel special because you live in your emotions and you allow the pleasure to make you feel good. But it's not real, it's fake, and it's temporary. And one of the other red flags is she talks smack about her father. Every woman who ever talked shit about her father has been trouble for me. Every single one. There hasn't been one who hasn't been trouble. What kind of relationship does she have with her father? That's one of the first things you need to figure out before you go any further. That's why you need to talk to people. Otherwise, she's just going to be another blow-up doll for you. Another cum dumpster. Another pump and dump. Another receptacle. Another Jezebel belonging to the streets that you try to make into something special. You can never, ever, ever, and people think I'm kidding when I say this. I say, let's bow our heads and have a moment of silence for every man who tried to turn a hoe into a housewife. So much of your emotional turmoil, and my emotional turmoil, has come from trying to take a woman of the streets and make her a virtuous woman. Virtue in women is very rare. I heard one guy say this, and I got kind of angry at it, and I disagreed at first. I heard a Christian guy say once, I keep my wife from being a slut. Boy, pretty shocking words, right? Without a man to keep a woman honest, she is in the streets. Boy, George, is this Bash Women Day? No, not at all. I'm talking to men who've experienced this. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I feel bad for you if you experienced it. And a final thing about the women from Red Flagistan is if she is working out obsessively and getting thin, she's preparing to fly the coop. That curvy, pretty woman that you knew is now getting thin. She's obsessed about attracting other men. And it's not going to be long before she makes you walk the plank. Wise up, my brother. Use this head right here. And with that, finish your coffee, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, reason, and the cold hard truth.